relationship. But we're so delighted, and consistently over the years, he just continues to amaze us, and all of those of you who are familiar with his work, as well as those who are just new and experiencing it for the first time. So it's really nice to have them all out, and we're delighted. So maybe you can just lead us through this particular grouping of work.
Well, these are 15 drawings that have all been done within the last probably year and a half. And I usually don't have any theme for a show. Sometimes one drawing will lead to the next, but usually my ideas, I try to pull them from all sorts of things. Sometimes they come from somebody I meet. Sometimes it's something that I'm working on, inside. Other times it's a movement of a pose that I've seen. So I really pull my ideas from many, many different areas. All the drawings are graphite drawings, except for those two, which are silver point drawings. And silver point is just where I draw with a piece of silver and a mechanical pencil on a gesso board. It's a little more old-fashioned way to work, but it's something I've done a couple of those each year for the last 4 or 5 years. A little bit of a diversion from the multiple pencils that I use when I draw. I brought my sketchbook today, and usually when I'm working on ideas, I do a lot of sketching. If you guys want to come around, and a lot of sketching in my sketchbook, and working out. I have figure drawing, because I teach figure drawing in Madison, but just working on ideas. This is probably a quick idea that ended up being that piece right there. That piece is that piece. So I knew this was I did those for the erotic show that was this summer. So, I'll sit down in my studio, and I just, the fun part is drawing the drawings. The hard part is getting new, fresh ideas. That's the work part. Here's a little sketch for that one right there. When I draw in the sketchbook, I usually use Tuscan red. It's just a Prismacolor, but it's nice because I go from real light to get nice, rich value. So I'll just sit and play with ideas, work out sketches till I get. All I need is a hint of an idea. Like this one right here, you can figure out is that piece right there. And once I did that movement, I really like that swing. So for a piece like this, my idea was this swing. I really like that breaking up of a vertical space where the figure really starts on one side, even though she's vertical, but swings through, and I wanted to really play with those legs shooting out. Then when the model comes in, there's really only so much work I feel comfortable doing when the model's not there, because I feel like I'm really just, in my mind, really wasting time, because you think, but it's those little things, what you're going to wear. Because I can say, well, come up, I want black tights, I want some kind of a small shoe, bring a few pairs of shoes, and for that one, she said, well, I thought you'd have fun drawing this shirt. I went, oh, God. and she's pretty headstrong, and she wasn't going to take that off. And I think you can see her attitude kind of in that drawing right there. It's the same model, and she's very strong, and she was in fact one of my students when I first met her. I knew I was going to do drawings of her because she was very interesting, very strong, had a good way of carrying herself, so I knew I wanted to do drawings of her. So when she came up, then that's when you get up there, you sit back. You're a director then you sit back and move. No, put your hands there. You'll come up, move fingers. You kind of try to find, what you think is the one that you want, and then you start doing your preliminary drawing. So that's kind of the way I work. We'll go through here is my razor blade that I snuck through the airport to sharpen my pencils. And you never know you need one on the plane. Sometimes it's just snippets of nice little area. This turned out to be that one right here. She wore these pants to class, and as soon as she walked in, she had that black line. And when working in black and white, what you're really doing is you design the page in shape, positive, negative shapes of value. even though there's an image of a person, it's all that fine detail. Really what it boils down to is blocks of value and how your eye moves through a drawing. You know, the positive, negative shapes again, shapes of value. And so I say good figurative work has the best has the best of all aspects of art. It's abstract, it's good craftsmanship, it's good narrative, it has everything working out. So here I did, you know, I knew I wanted to use those shoes somehow, and I was doing all these little snippets of drawings, and once I got that, you know, I wanted something there, and then she came up, and you know, I'll work it, go to something else. I thought maybe I'll do a triangle with the 2 chairs. Here, you know, again, there's a point where I just work, I go, you know, this is ridiculous, call the model, have her come up, and then we play with that, and then for a drawing like this, I think of this stuff, but these things I think that make the drawing. And that's why, you know, because you think of it, you know, with color, you know, again, I don't work with color, and I'll answer no questions on color. So, you know, I just, these are things that happen, and then I enhance them. I'll come in with an eraser, and I'll try to make it so just a flat value. I'll have some fun with double shadows, and, you know, just something that makes them more alive. So, you know, your eye kind of sweeps and just shoots right out of there. So there's just all this nice sweeping, you know, motion through this figure. And, you know, a drawing like this, I know I have the sketches in here for this one somewhere. I was talking to some friends today about, you know, some artists have these perfect sketchbooks. So mine just, you know, this is about probably a year and a half, maybe getting close to 2 years old. But that was a sketch I did that I knew I wanted to give it just a nice reaching figure on that. I think I did another one right there. I knew I wanted to stretch, I knew I wanted movement, I knew I wanted this just a nice movement up, and I wanted to get a real nice hot outdoor lighting. You know, that light's just really, you know, coming down, and you get this nice core of the shadow. I do a lot with shadows in my drawings, and not only values of, you know, clothes, and shadows, but of values on the wall, but shadows on the figure. There's core of the shadow which works down the core, nice crisp cast shadows, this nice reflected light that bounces off, you know, some element out here that gives that nice glow to the figure. So there's a lot, you know, I try to get a lot going on. So when I'm drawing, you know, I don't draw down sections to completion. I work the drawing almost like I work when I figure drawing, where I work around the drawing, you know, really laying out big blocks of value. I try to see big spaces, big shapes of value, and here's a real fast one. I did a real nice one right before I came out here, which I thought was a real nice drawing. So it must be that. Well, you know, when you just hit big, so I see this, not so much as all these little things, but I see big shapes of value, so that's why I break it down. Nice big shapes of value on these drawings. So I work over, and I slowly draw the whole thing to a certain percentage, seeing it. So the first thing I do, I don't come with the detail. I get a little bit, but I block out big shapes of value. As these big shapes come, I work more in the smaller details. So really, I'm always working these big shapes up. Smaller details come later, go to darker pencils, working back and forth. I use about 5 different pencils when I'm drawing. And I kind of let that drawing evolve then. I think this is a nice drawing. A little heavier edges because it's a little more spontaneous. But, you know, nice shapes of value. These are the shapes that are really nice. And coming in for this nice little detail. So I really work the drawing. So usually the last thing I do in a drawing are the darkest darks, and then going back and just refining things. So really I work to the darkest dark. That way, I'm the one that manipulates what you see. You know, I think if I work down, you know, I might be right here, but it's